Okay, it's 6:35 p.m. April 9th, 1992. I'm going to call up Elmer B. Tixier in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah, hello? Yeah, is this Elmer B. Tixier? Yeah, you don't know me. I'm a friend of James Barron's. He was stationed at Roswell. Yeah, clear back in 1947. Yeah, is I got the right guy? And I'm interested in aerial phenomena. We got talking about, there's this old story about a crashed disc at Roswell, like a flying saucer. Yeah, but, do you remember that? Is it okay if I record the conversation so I don't have to scribble all this stuff down? Okay. All right, here we go.
There we go. You remember Jesse Marcel? Oh, okay. Well, he was the intelligence officer there. He's the guy that supposedly went out and picked up this debris from whatever it was. Anyway, some people think it was a flying saucer crash back in '47. There was like all these these flying saucer reports, hundreds of them. And then they had this famous one outside of Roswell, about 75 miles, and they reported it in Walter Haut, who was the newspaper man at Roswell at the time. Blanchard, W.H. Blanchard was the commander. He told Haut to print it up. And anyway, there's a book called UFO Crash at Roswell by Kevin D. Randall and Donald R. Schmidt, and then there was another one called The Roswell Incident. That's by Berlitz and a guy named William Moore. So there's films, and Jesse Marcel is on record for saying, see, I've got a VHS tape, a television VHS tape from Washington, D.C. from the UFO Research Fund, and Jesse Marcel is on there being interviewed by a man named Stan Friedman, and Jesse said you couldn't bend this stuff, or you couldn't burn it or cut it, or you couldn't dent it with a 16-pound sledgehammer, and he said, as far as he was concerned, there was nothing that the United States had, or the Russians, or anybody else, and that he thought it was of extraterrestrial origin. So, since I've been hearing this from these guys, I've just been trying to get a hold of them.
Not that particular incident. We did have one coming when we come up here to Albuquerque from Roswell to load up atomic weapons out here.
No, what was that again?
We did have an occasion, seen one when we come up here from Roswell to Albuquerque. We used to have a pit out here.
Oh, pit.
We used to take our old B-29 and take them out there and load them up with a atomic bomb.
Yeah.
It had a turn wheel, and you put the bomb in a pit. And then you put the airplane's left wheel on this turn thing, and then you chalk it up, and you go around in a circle and land it over the pit. And the whole crew was out there waiting for somebody to get off so that we could get unload our weapons.
Yeah.
And we looked up in the sky, and there was about 3 objects up there. And I swear, we all looked in the air, and the navigator said, "Oh, that's a star," so he went into the airplane to shoot at it. He shot at it, to get a reading.
Yeah.
He said, "No, there's no star up there." But those things were running about, there was some, I don't remember what kind of jet aircraft at that time were flying, and I figured they were flying about, we figured they were flying about 500 miles an hour. And these things were going about 6 times faster than they were, and about 50,000 feet over their heads.
Do you remember the year?
God.
Was it after 47, do you think?
It was around that time.
Can you place it in reference to anything that, like an event that was taking place? That'd be really nice.
Well, at one time we used to come over here and do this loading because we didn't have a pit down there.
Oh, you didn't have it?
And later on, they got a deal where they put a jack on the stones of the airplane and jacked them up, and then we run the bomb underneath.
I see.
Let's see. guess I was escorted to
F?
509.
Yeah, that was a which squadron?
509th I was in the headquarters.
Yeah, I thought you were in the 393rd.
I was before I went over to the headquarters.
Okay, so you were stationed at the headquarters, and then at that time, sometime after that, is when you're going from between Roswell and Albuquerque?
Yeah, well, we used to send the airplanes up here to load them.
At Albuquerque, where at?
Yeah. Huh?
Where was that at in Albuquerque?
Over in what they call now the west area.
The west area?
Yeah, they had a fence around it at one time, and you couldn't, later on, they took it down, and it was hush at that time.
Do you remember the name of the Air Force, the air base that you flew to in Albuquerque?
Yeah, it was Kirtland.
Kirtland?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're saying again that sometime when you were stationed at Roswell, well, what year were you stationed there? Were you there in 47?
Oh, I was there from 46 to 54.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're familiar with the Bikini atomic bomb test, the Crossroads?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember them painting the picture of Rita Hayworth, Gilda, on that bomb? She was a Hollywood.
I didn't go over to watch.
Oh, you didn't go?
I joined the outfit at the time when they weren't watching.
See, that was July 1st, 1946.
Yeah, I came in later.
Oh, okay. Okay, so now, so you're there from 46 later than July 1st, 1946, and you left at 54. So do you recall, this would help you get a handle on when you saw those whatever they were, UFOs we'll call them, in the sky, sometime after you were there in 46, you were then not in headquarters. Can you remember what year you were established in headquarters to get a bearing on a time when you would have went between Roswell and Albuquerque?
I think it was around 51.
Around 1951? But can you remember if it was in the wintertime or not, or summer, spring?
No.
Okay, so you said that you guys were, what, you're flying up there with B-29s?
Yeah, we had a B-29. We had B-29 here, and we taxied over to the pit, as we call it. And there was somebody else on it, so we had to wait about 30 or 40 minutes. And we were laying outside, like GIs always do. Looking up at the ceiling, up at the sky, and they seen this thing. See, there was more than that. There was a large unit up there, and it seemed like these smaller things were coming out of it.
You mean there was a large unit, meaning an object?
Yeah.
Like how large and how high would you say it was?
Oh, I imagine it was 70, 80,000.
70, 80,000 feet.
It was surprising because I thought I think they were F-86s.
Pardon me?
I think they were F-86s. And we all thought that they spotted them. Because they seemed to be circling, trying to get up there.
Oh, you mean the F-86s?
Yeah. And they couldn't, it seemed to us like it was trying to get up there. But he could get that high anyhow.
Okay.
Like I said, the navigator took a reading on that. It was like it's just a star up there or something.
Oh, so this was at night?
No, it was in the daytime.
So he tried to paint it, right?
Yeah, he went up there and got his old Texan or whatever they call it, took a shot at it.
Can you remember his name? Okay, let's see. Do you remember any of the individuals' names that were there that witnessed the same sighting you did?
I sure don't.
Okay. Now, in that book, UFO Crash at Roswell by Schmidt and Randall, it said in 47 that they had a bomb pit bomb pit number 1? Or am I mistaken something here?
I don't recall a bomb pit. Oh, yes, we did have. Yeah. We had one in Roswell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had one, but so how does that fit into your scenario where you were going up to Albuquerque? Because before you said you didn't have one, or what? You just...
No, I didn't. Just to refresh my memory, we did have one that I can think of. Yeah.
Can you hear that static?
No, I can't hear worth a damn.
Oh, okay. All right. So now you said that there was a large object. How large would you estimate it to be from your position if it was 70 or 80,000 feet up? You know, like using the moon as a measure, as a diameter.
Well, it depends on what time you see the moon. You know, on the horizon they're big, and up in the middle of the sky they're smaller.
Okay, well...
I would say that if they were straight up, they were about a quarter size of the moon, looking up at it.
Okay,
and it was daylight.
Broad daylight.
Yes, sir.
And
it was in the afternoon, about 4 or 5.
4 or 5. How many of you guys were there?
I think we had 9 people on the aircraft.
Can you remember any of those guys' names?
No.
Okay. Okay, so you see this large object about the quarter the size of the moon. Can you remember what color it was?
It looked grayish up there. And also the little items that were coming out of it seemed like they were gray.
So, can you remember how many of the little ones come out of the big one?
I think there was 5 or 6.
And did they, descend down towards the Earth?
No, they just circled up there.
Around it?
Going out in different directions through the valley here. If they got too far out, you'd lose them. But we were so sure that somebody in the tower had seen something up there that they were sending the F-86s up there. But we never had anything to... Well, we actually, after about 30 minutes of that, they called us in when the pet was available. So we taxied up and loaded our phone and moved on.
Okay. Did you men make a report and send it up to HQ?
No.
Was this a regular kind of occurrence that was going on at the time?
That was the first one I'd ever seen.
Okay. So how long, how many minutes do you think went by during the observing of this large object and the smaller objects?
Oh, it was anywhere from 10 to 15.
And did the smaller objects go back inside of the larger object?
I didn't see any do that.
Okay. What was the talk amongst the individuals that were on the ground? As far as...
Well, they were trying to say that it was something else, you know. Somebody said it was flying up. Now,
a piece of paper.
It was a star, and it was too high to be a piece of paper or something.
Oh, I see. You're saying somebody thought it was paper just flitting around down through the atmosphere.
But it was way too high. It was above F-86.
And
there's no way that paper could get up there.
Can you recall how many planes there were that were scrambling or flying or trying to get up that high?
It seemed like there was about 5 or 6 came out of the, well, we call it the mothership. We called it the mothership.
Oh, yeah, okay, there was 5 or 6 of those come out of that mothership, and that's what you guys referred to it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm in reference to now the F-86s. Yeah. How many of them did you notice that were flying in that direction to try to...
Oh, there must be, there was 3 or 4 flying around the air base.
Did you have the impression that they were trying to fly up to meet that?
I did. I thought they were trying to investigate.
So
We never heard anything more about it.
okay.
We went off about our business. I guess we forgot about it.
Okay, but okay, then again, do you recall hearing about that crash flying saucer that happened outside of Roswell, about 75 miles up towards Corona?
Well, I don't know if I heard about it that time or I seen the movie on it. But it seemed to me when I read about it here in the last few years that it was new to me.
It did seem new to you when you read about it.
Yeah, I was looking at it. Somebody was talking about it. Here, there's a guy that's the same outfit at Roswell. Well, I don't know if I can help you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over that one more time again. So sometime between 47, you'd say 47 and 1951, but you think it was 51, right? You guys were headed, you'd fly them B-29s up to...
51 or 52, I went over to E-36. I don't know when we got the E-36s out of Fort Worth, although I was there checking them out.
Yeah.
We could check it out by... There was a twister that went down the runway and tore the hell out of the B-36s, and then we were taking it. Sent us back.
Okay, so you guys were flying these B-29s up to Albuquerque Air Base up there, up to Kirtland, and you guys had landed, and you were just like laying around kind of on the field, and you were kind of looking up in the sky?
Yeah, we were laying around waiting for another airplane to get loaded off the pit.
Okay, were you loading up the genuine item? Was it a real atomic bomb, or was it concrete? It was real? Okay, so it was a real one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're loading that up, and you guys just kind of laying back, taking a break, and then looking up in the sky, right?
Yeah, we were looking up in the sky.
And then who was the first one to see it? Was it you, or?
No, I don't recall.
Okay, and then everybody called their attention to it, and then you guys were all looking up in the sky.
Right.
And there was this larger object. Can you remember the form of the larger object?
No. It seemed to be round.
Okay. And then you saw that first, and then as you're watching it, then these little ones come out of it?
No, we seen the little one first.
Oh, you saw the little ones first.
And then we scanned the sky, I guess, until we saw the big one. And then, like I said, 4 or 5 more came out of it.
Oh, okay. So you saw one little one first, and then you watched that, and then somebody else said, hey, look at there's a big one.
Yeah.
And then you saw these other 4 or 5 of them come out of that.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of circled around randomly.
Yeah, seemed like.
And they were gray in color?
It seemed to.
Okay. And you watched them for how long?
Oh, I guess it was 10, 15 minutes till the other airplane got off the pit, and it was our turn to go out. We forgot about it.
Oh.
Went in and loaded up.
Oh, okay, so the other plane got there, and then you guys turned around and had to perform your duties, and you just more or less forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then you guys loaded up everything, and then you took off.
Yeah.
And
Don't even remember where we went.
And you don't recall discussing what you saw in the skies amongst each other?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I'm talking about it.
All right. Had you ever seen anything else after that?
No.
Okay. Has this ever crossed your mind since until today that I talked to you?
Oh, no. I've thought about it a lot of times.
Okay. Well,
Thought about it only.
Huh?
I only thought about it. I think I tried to tell somebody about it. He poo-pooed me. I never told anybody else.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. So was that an investigator or just some friend?
No, just a friend.
He just kind of said, nah, your imagination's getting away with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in your opinion, do you think that what you saw really was extraterrestrial or not from this planet?
Well, I don't know. I know that there was an object in the sky. I didn't categorize it as to what it was.
Had you ever thought that maybe that's what it was? See, I'm not necessarily a believer either myself. I'm just doing research. Is all I'm doing.
Yeah, it could have been. Well, what I thought about it too is that it could have been because of the fact that it was going so, the little guys were going so fast.
Oh yeah.
Instead, I figured they were going 30 to 35, 100 miles an hour.
3,500 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you guys got the speed off from the Navigator or the?
No, off of the F-86s that were flying up there at the same time.
So
the F-86 would be flying about 500 miles an hour at that time.
Oh.
Going 6, 7 times as fast.
Okay, so when the man went in, and you can't remember the name of the guy that went up and did the radar?
He was a navigator.
Oh, he was a navigator at the time?
He was a navigator.
And this was in the 393rd?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay, so...
I was in the 393rd.
Yeah, you were in the 393rd. So you're saying it was the navigator that was on that plane flight to Albuquerque to Kirtland that went into the B-29.
And he took his section down and put it over. There was a plexiglass thing over on top of the aircraft.
Yeah.
Where they shoot the stars.
Yeah.
And he went up there and took a look up through there. And he came back and reported that there wasn't supposed to be a star up there.
Oh, so he come back and reported an object that wasn't a star because he knew that there shouldn't be a star there.
Right.
What else did he say then?
That's all I can remember.
Okay. Did he manage to do some triangulation or anything to get a speed on them things?
I don't think so. He came back pretty shortly. So just...
God, I wish you could remember the name of that guy, because then I could get it verified, from him. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
terrible thing.
Yeah, because see the story. See, just hearing it from one person it's a very interesting story, and I don't doubt what you're saying. But when you're presenting this to individuals who are doing this investigations, they always need witnesses to verify. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what gives the idea that there was something beyond what should be up there, because he verified the fact that there was a star up there.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what he was doing. I assume a navigator would.
Well, yeah.
The stars.
Well, yeah. You guys are supposed to be a pretty sharp unit. That's what I heard. That's what I read. It says it was a hand-picked elite group. The world's first atomic bomb wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really something.